Cruz, Dan, Emerson, Finn and Jacob. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to our pitch today. We are raising money for charity through the power of video games and the internet. We will be playing video games and posting them on YouTube for the world to enjoy. With witty and comedic commentary, we believe that we are different from the rest. We are doing what we love, and we are helping a great cause at the same time.
Please excuse my voice, but I'm sick today and I might stutter a bit. The internet, and especially YouTube, is an ever-changing atmosphere. What might be trendy one day may not be trendy the next, and might not be popular either. But gaming has stood the test of time, and gaming has been popular since the days even before YouTube.
But our channel has a special focus on small, lesser-known indie games, which are usually made by one person or a small group. By having focus on them, we believe that we will be increasing exposure, as well as increasing sales for them and views and subscribers for us. However, we also know that featuring larger games increases views and subscribes, and we are obliged to feature larger games.
If you watch many gaming channels these days, you'll be struck by the amount of swearing that is featured in those videos. We will be going against the tide and will have a strict non-swearing policy.
We already have the equipment to record and post them. Most investment in our project has come out of our own pockets, such as purchasing games and the computers we play them on. We will not be making any money from this, and all money will be directed to charities, which will also be showcased on our channel. We hope to have our first video posted in the coming future.
We are pursuing our dreams and we are doing what we love. This is what makes us different. This is what makes us special. This is what makes us, us. Please support us. Thanks for listening to us today. We would ask for $20 to $30 in any advice you guys have to give us on media and publicity. Thanks.
Oh, sorry, I might have missed it. How are you actually getting money? Who's paying? Like, you're posting YouTube clips?
Monetization, in which when people view our videos, we get money for it.
And who pays that? YouTube pays you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have obviously, my son does, so you guys have done this before, as in watched tutorials. Have you had a look how many clicks they get? Like some of the more popular ones, like Leroy Jenkins. So.
Dan TDM, that's how much they play Minecraft.
Like, there's a lot of clicks, isn't there, to get to any sort of money? So
It's approximately $2 per 1,000 views, apparently, approximately.
$2 per 1,000 views. Okay, so you do know that. Okay, so you've got to get 1,000 views to get $2. I'll let someone else comment. It's not really a business as far as I'm concerned. It's more of a, you're doing a service and charging a little bit of money to try and get all you're getting it through advertising revenue, but you're working to do it. Very hard to sort of probably.
So the differentiation point of these games that you're going to put on, you said they're non-swearing. You mentioned something else about quirky and fun, or what was the word you used? How is it going to differentiate from the other?
These games are smaller, usually made by one person or like
so indie games,
that not many people would have heard of. That we're helping them get them more people to download and buy the game.
So why are we going to watch that if we haven't heard of it?
You might be interested into.
How would we heard about it though? To do a search for it. So
we would have probably mentioned it throughout the video or put a link to it in our description of the video.
Plus we'll have larger games, so say you search up Call of Duty gameplay, Age of Empires gameplay, you like the video, you look at our channel, you see different indie games, small games in different sections of the channel, and you'll click on that if you're interested.
Like it comes up with something like, if you like this game, you may also, other people have liked.
Exactly. You can put that there.
Also, we have social media, Facebook and Twitter accounts being made.
Okay. You guys would have been able to do that in 2 seconds, what you should probably do though, if you were going to pursue something like this, would be create your own website so that those, to contact all those gaming people and say, okay, you can download these games. So you're doing up a YouTube channel. have all your clips on your YouTube and on your website. And on your website, you have links to all of those little games. So you're driving people back to your website because you don't know when YouTube's going to change its policy on anything. So you want to drive everything to your own website. And what was the other thing I was thinking of? And it would have been good, okay, if you're pitching to us. How long have you had this project for? Okay, how often do you guys play games?
Every day.
Every day. Someone should have been able to just do a little bit of a clip, okay, a bit of a.
We've got little bits of recordings.
Eh?
We've got little bits of recordings. When you.
Or just a little clip that you could have done that you would have just been able to because you're saying we're funny and quirky. Well, we should have just a little clip for even 20 seconds, not even not 10 minutes, just 20 seconds. A couple of little jokes and look, we've got 10 people or followers already. Just that's just part of the presentation. It would have been good if you.
Dollars for.
Just different games, maybe some better recording equipment for these guys because they're not really using the best things for recording.
Some snacks. In a bit.
Big bowl of chips.
Yeah. It's tough on those games. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say I know who PewDiePie is.
Person, if you can, you need to find out what sort of. No, that's a bit difficult because there'll be just some sort of username. But as soon as you can find it, how did you find us? What type of person is watching us? It might be 14-year-old girls that all of a sudden love it, and you need to know. Well, that's my target audience, and that's what I've got to promote to. Because at the end of the day, what will actually make this go viral? You've got to be good. Like at the end of the day. Each one of you go, we'll all do a bit, but some of you might be rubbish and one might be outstanding or whatever it might be. But you're going to have to be good and start getting followers, find out who's following you and why they're following you, and then that will help with your advertising. How do we start promoting to that group of people?
Especially since you kids all know about computers and stuff like that.
$10.
$8 for me, thanks.
Yeah, was it on your follow that? 8 bucks for me too. Oh, there you go. Only because you didn't do those couple of simple things.
There you go, that's great.
Well done, guys.
Yep, very good. Good go.
Job.
Thanks.
And see if you can get as famous as Leroy.
Fiona, also, you mentioning about, I'll listen just so you're aware.
Hello, my project is called I2I, as you can see, and my name is Brooke. So my DeLorean project, it aims to show what real world problems look like, to bring awareness to these problems and just encourage others to help. I was personally alarmed to hear that poor nutrition causes around 45% of deaths in children under 5, so that's 3.1 million children die each year. Nearly half of the world's population, more than 3 billion people, live on less than $2.50 a day. More than 1.3 billion people live in extreme poverty, less than $1.25 a day, and 80% of the world's population live in less than $10 a day. Look, I don't know about you guys, but that's something that I definitely can't just sit around and allow to happen without actively trying to help them. I'm looking at ways that I can personally help these people as best as I can, and with what I have, to tell the stories of people's lives, their struggles and their needs, through travelling, blogging, writing, and through art, photography, and so on. As a Christian, I believe that the Bible tells us to use what is in our hands to help those less fortunate. So I decided for my DeLorean project to use my passions and talents to create an online blog where I can share stories and photos that highlight what is happening in the world, to share details on how some underprivileged people live each day, and to give a voice to the voiceless. I aim to create artwork to sell that displays images of people I meet, places I go, and culture I experience, and to sell this artwork to raise money for organisations that are currently doing the hard work overseas, and that I can hopefully one day visit myself. This artwork will be sold at a range of different prices depending on the size of each artwork, with 50% of the donations given to the organisation which will be sponsoring at the certain time, and the other 50% of the profits will be made to will go to like the actual project, so money for art supplies, the blog, and also money that will cover travel costs when I'm older and can travel to the organisations themselves overseas. For my artwork, I would like to tell the story of the subject in each art piece. I mean, it's great to look at a portrait, but how often do we know the stories behind the actual piece? I'm really excited to start and continue to create artwork for my project, but I need financial help for art supplies such as paint canvases and so on. My blog would also be a place to put spotlight on organisations and individuals, such as church missionaries that are helping others, and spreading awareness about how they have helped the underprivileged, to learn from them, to be inspired, and to encourage others to get behind the cause, whilst challenging them to help too. My first blog project will be my journey with the school mission trip to Fiji this September. I'm hoping to meet the locals, hear their stories, and share what our team are doing whilst we are there. Thank you for taking up your time to listen to my presentation, and I hope that you see the vision I have for my projects.
Thank you, Brooke. Just having a few thoughts here before I ask you a question. How will you market? You talked about the blog. Have you got other ways that you want to market the idea or selling your
I was thinking, because my sister
photography?
and I were both we want to get into like filmmaking and photography and artwork. So we're thinking of possibly creating a YouTube channel. Because I'm hoping at the end of this year to leave school and like focus on this idea and go to TAFE and do like a filming course and stuff like that. So we're thinking just like, you know, use a Facebook page and stuff to just voice it out, and even like using the school like because so many teachers are so supportive, like
Okay.
What charity? Sorry, like the 50%. You've got this money. Where does it go to then?
Yeah. So at the moment, I haven't got like the specific one, but I was thinking of like just helping as many charities as possible. But there's even Surfing the Nations. They're based in Hawaii, and they're pretty much just about, because there's a town in there that people like they don't want to visit because it's so like, I know, it's just like not seen as like a wonderful place and stuff, and they're just pretty much aiming at like giving back to the community, surfers giving back. So I was even thinking, because I wanted to visit that one year and just like go there and just be able to help them out, just to be able to support them even more, to give back to the community. So yeah.
I'd recommend that you try and find A1 and and link yourself initially to that.
Yeah.
And how did you come to the concept eye to eye? And because that when I saw that, I thought, this is going to be about charities for visually impaired people or Fred Hollows. Or So it sent me a message. Took me on a different track to what. So can you explain?
So for me, it was. I know this one the name of the thing just came to me one day. I was like, that sounds right, because eye to eye for me means like a level playing ground, because I just want everyone to like have the same fairness as everyone else, and just everyone be on the same playing field, and just
Yes, well that's valid.
Yeah.
If you explain that, and maybe on your blog you just write a little
about what it
clause
means.
about why you've chosen that, and then it just clarifies for people
so that they know.
Okay, I can support this because she believes in equity.
Yeah, when you're picking your charity, you gave some stats beforehand about poverty, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think you just need to line up your charity with what's on your heart. So what's your passion, like the surfers, if that's it, what is it, and really hone in on that, because then that'll come through your artwork anyway, it'll come through your whole story. Yeah. And then that way you've got more mission. Because I love the fact that you want to put a story behind the artwork, so then if I know the story behind this one, I'm going to be more, I'll pay more for it. Yeah. And then it's just a nice artwork. Yeah. So, and if that links into your mission as well, to your charity, it's going to make a lot more.
Cool. Yeah.
And you get more money for it too.
Yeah.
I think, you're obviously very talented, and it's good passion, and like the presentation itself, good, like great imagery. Yeah. Spoke very well and articulate, so did really, really well then. I can't help thinking it's going to be a hard slog for you. Yeah. Is my thought. There's a lot of art. How many hours would have gone into that particular?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah. And then to recoup that, and all the good that you're willing to do can be undermined by the fact that people will go, hang on, I'm not just funding you so you can travel around the world doing your art. Yeah. And thinking about that it's your self-interest rather than the greater good. Yeah. And that might be a bit harsh, but I could just see it being a tough slog in some ways. And I don't mean to. Yeah, I think as I said, it's amazing. I get the link, but I think it'll be tough myself.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah.
Called 9 Crimes, and it's about a bottle of wine that Treasury Wines tried to sell into the US. And previously, same wine in a bottle, and they just put a label on it, didn't sell. As soon as they did 9 Crimes, and it's about the 9 crimes that people got sent to Australia from the UK from, it's gone through the roof over in the US because there's a story attached to it. So I agree with Travis, is that is a very, very good thing. So 9 Crimes.
Yeah.
If you'd like to have a look at, there's a book that Ken Duncan, the photographer, an older man that's been photographing for years, but he's done a lot of beautiful photography for World Vision, and it's I'm just trying to think of the name of it. I think it's called The Vision of Hope is the paper copy, but if you just Google Ken Duncan and have a look at the way he produces the photography, and the picture and the art tells the story, and it's often only a very small caption that captures the essence of that story. So look for that too, and there certainly is a space in not-for-profit land for things like that, using art and music and writing, photography, but just have to learn maybe from some others that have gone before, and so that would be an encouragement to you to do that.
Thank you.
I agree with everyone. Great presentation, and it's great to see that that's what you're going to follow after school. I think it's probably more of a vocation than a business idea, but great presentation.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm at 15 here.
Yeah.
Wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
So, was it good? Yeah, good. Okay. Hello, Sharks. My name is Jared Leah, and we are the Bill Nets basketball team. We're a small group of men that has decided to make a basketball team to teach little kids how to play basketball properly.
I'm Ruben. I'm Sam Taylor.
I'm Blake.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Henry, and we're the BLR Nets.
Yeah. So our vision is to help young kids from grade 3 till grade 8 and initially teach them how to play basketball, give them the skills to kick off, and then eventually one day hopefully to start up a club in Biwa, because Biwa, the closest clubs are either in Caloundra or Caboolture, which is half an hour away, which is an hour drive there and back whenever they have training, so it'd just be much easier and convenient to come to Biwa and teach them basketball here. So yeah, our purpose is to teach kids how to play basketball and get outside and have fun. So basketball club registrations will be $30 for a term, and then a $5 1-week trial to see if they want to stay, and then they just pay the extra $25 after that. So it's kind of like, kids, they just play they come home, play their computers all day, and then their mum says, well, why don't you go outside, and they don't have anything to go to because they're so used to being cramped upside, and it's just, giving them the opportunity to do something that isn't, that gets them out and active and having fun and making new friends. So we would like to have $100 to give us equipment such as basketballs, t-shirts for ourselves so that we stand out and we're not, so it's kind of like a uniform for ourselves and coaches, and jerseys for the players, so that,
Yeah, so basically what we want, basketball club, teach some kids some lessons about it. So, yeah, like Sam said, basketball clubs in like a half-hour drive from Beerwall. So, I know there's actually quite a lot of people around Beerwall that are passionate about basketball like we are, and getting to Caloundra and Caboolture is quite a drive. So, and like as Sam said again, $100 to get us off the ground. Hopefully,
Yeah, it'll help just to encourage kids to get engaged in physical activities and just have fun and meet new friends. And it's important to get kids active and get involved off the computers and off the couch and get onto the court and have some fun. It will be an alternative to the areas of the community,
such as the skate park and the library where most people come out and do not so nice things.
And there's also an aspect for parents, such as if you want to stay an extra few hours at work, you can just leave your kids with us.
We'll look after them.
And we'll take care of them, show them how to play basketball. They'll just be left in our care. We'll take good care of them, show them how to play basketball properly, they'll have fun with other kids, have a good time. And that's our pitch. That's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Okay, a few questions. Where is this going to happen? Where are you going to teach them? Have you got a facility that
We'll be using the school facilities because they've got 2 courts here, so
okay.
we'll be using the school facilities, and they've got
a couple of basketballs and bibs to get us started.
All right.
And
When
as
you-
we'll grow after that.
Good. And when you say a term, is this a school term? So
Yes.
once a week or twice a week or
Just once a week.
once a week? Yeah.
And then if it grows, we'll obviously add to that.
Okay. Insurance. What about things like insurance and keeping kids safe? You said you might be able to look after kids while parents are at work.
So that would be 100% in
How will
our care, and we were hoping to get a bit later an adult coach
Yeah.
Right.
to help us and the kids properly, so they're getting like a proper experience with it.
Okay.
With the legal, like if they hurt themselves or something,
Mm.
we haven't planned about that yet, but we're still in the planning phase of that. Yeah.
Okay. I like the fact that you are looking for a local need, and you've expressed that very well, that you've got a drive for this experience if you children want to do that. So that's good to look for something local. So I commend you for that.
I think you've outlined the need really well. I love the fact that you've got a vision and it's community based. So the fact that it's coming from a basketball team here already to start up what could be, an actual city or BOR community club is quite good. So foundational where this could go is very, very good. Thinking long term where you're going to go, so that's good. We said once a week. How long is it going to be for? Have you thought about time frames?
An hour session, but we'll have a few sessions a day, so we'll probably stay after school, so from 3 o'clock till maybe 6 o'clock, give them 3 hours.
So you can do 3 different
Three
sessions?
sessions.
Yeah.
So we can have a couple, a few age groups.
Yeah.
Work up. So
Yeah, good.
Where'd you come up with the numbers for the what you're charging?
we just looked at a couple of other like basketball areas and saw their prices, and because we wanted to be competitive, we dropped them a little bit just because we're still young and still learning ourselves to not charge overly much, and we might add them when we get proper coaching.
Okay, have you looked into, like if you say you want to be end of the year a fully functional basketball club, like what it takes to set up like a sporting club? Like it's actually it is actually an entity, and it's got to have insurance, and it's got to certain legal requirements to actually run a club. Have you guys looked at any of that yet? Are you guys members of clubs that you could talk to the presidents and the secretaries of those clubs? Or have you done that? Yeah.
We're not as yet, but we're looking into the legal side of it.
Because we were just giving it a trial just to see how it goes and how kids enjoy themselves and have fun. And then we'll think about that as we go through the process.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get it done by the end of the year. I think it's further down the track. But
So a couple of things, comments that I make. The presentation didn't excite me, and I love my sport. Have you ever coached grade 3s to 8-year-olds? One of my first jobs out of school was doing sports clinics at schools, and it's hard work. Like us, the teachers here, you guys, it can be difficult, and as the younger you are, the more difficult it can be. So you just sort of get thinking, oh yeah, we'll get a bunch of kids and we'll play together. It's not as easy as it sounds. Kids just lack respect nowadays. The other thing is, the suggestion that I'd have for you is contact Basketball Queensland. I sit on the board of Golf Queensland. We run junior golf programs and things like that. They would be more than happy, I'm sure, to help support you, because they, their mission is to grow the game of basketball within Queensland, and they'll provide a whole range of support, whether it be specific programs that you can run, so you don't have to think, okay, well, we'll shoot a few hoops and do a few games. So they will give you some actual programs. So contact Basketball Queensland. I'm sure that they'll help. And another thing that I'd have a look at, there's I know of a school principal who actually runs a called Fit and Fun program, and he usually does it over 2 days over school holidays, where parents are willing to, mind you, he's a school principal, not grade 10 students. Their parents will drop their kids off for the day during school holidays, and the kids do a range of sports activities around rugby union. You guys get the range of things around basketball. I'd have a look at some of those things, and happy to give you these details as to how he sort of got it off the ground and how it works for him. But that's how I'd suggest that you move forward.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
And don't use babysitting as one of your things. Teenage boys, like someone in year 3, probably not going to leave them with you. It's probably a good idea to have the parents there too, especially if they've got some difficulties or behaviour difficulties. It's the parents' job to look after them, not yours then. And you can actually send them back to the parent. I do under 6 coaching. That's if you've got any problems, you just pass that on. Tell them to go and check, see their parents about it. But yeah, I wouldn't leverage on. That's not a leverage for you, I don't think.
Oh, sorry, you're going to go.
$5.
Yeah. Thanks, boys.
Thank you. And good luck.
If you want that guy's details, let me know. I'll let your teachers know and all.
Good morning, Sharks. I was practicing that. My name is Jade, and my idea is keeping it real, which is fun day school. So it's like a fun Sunday school. Keep it going. So I know you were looking at me like, Jade, you spelled keeping it real wrong. Real does not. That's not how you spell real. I can usually spell, and this is what it stands for: Religious Education Extensive Interactive Lessons. So So what is it? So my idea is giving students from prep to year 2 the opportunity to understand what was discussed at chapel, what those terms mean, because I've been sitting in at chapel for the last 6 weeks from prep to year 2, and I've been watching his message and how he says it, and I noticed sometimes his terminology isn't always like prep to year 2. Like I was like, I wouldn't have known that in year 2 and stuff, so I want to be able to go into their classrooms and kind of break it down for them. I also want to give students a chance to ask questions about God openly and freely, and I want to build relationships with the students and become their friend. So how do I plan on doing this? Like I've said, I've attended their chapels for the last 6 weeks. I've understood how the chaplain has presented his message, and I've been writing notes of this. I have been attending weekly mentoring sessions with my mentor, who is Fiona Cran. She's done over 15 years of RE in public schools, so she's so this enables me to use her sources, but I do also want to develop my own personal resources. So I'll be doing 15 to 20 minute sessions in classrooms on my Wednesdays. And I'll also be doing activities during their second lunch, which might be on memory verses or on songs and fun stuff like that. So am I going to be forcing this upon them? I will absolutely not be forcing this anywhere, not anywhere, but I'll not be forcing it on them. So an email or a letter will be sent home to all the prep to year 2 parents, informing them that I'm a year 10 student and this is my DeLorean project and this is what I want to do. But they also should be expecting, as this is a Christian school, that there is going to be Christian things and fun stuff like that. So why is this even important anymore? We've got YouTube, we've got Google, we've got everything. You just type it in and we've got the answer pretty much. But I've typed in a question that I would have had if I was in year 2. So, is God real? So the top little YouTube is 22 reasons why you should stop believing in God. God helped you. He's still not real. God is not real. God does not exist by Stephen Hawking. So these are things that you wouldn't want your child watching and then having doubt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that if your relationship with Christ is going to be strong, it's going to have doubt. But I don't think they should be the first things that they should be experiencing and going, oh, so now I have a relationship, now I'm going to try and tear it down. I don't think that is something that is going to be what they should be watching and stuff like that. So if you were to Google stuff, maybe you don't have a Bible at home, so I Googled Bible in the search bar, so I got the King James Version of the Bible. Now this is not a primary reading at all, so unless you were more specific and you wrote children's Bible, so I also did that, and it came up with you had to buy the first 4 books, so they were up to $20 to $40 to pay for these PDF copies or hard copies. So I thought, I don't really want someone having to pay all this money and everything. I was like, no, it's God, we don't need to pay money for him. You know what I mean? This offering and this stuff like that. We don't need to go there. So if a child was to be reading this and everything and they want to learn more about God, they'd come across the first, there we go. So I'm going to tell you a story because I think you should experience something that I might tell them. So I'm going to tell you about creation. So I reckon creation is such an awesome story in the Bible because we start off and we hear all about, Okay, so day one, there's light. So I think that's awesome that he was able to see, let there be light, and we all of a sudden got light. Not LED light bulbs, not the little flashlight you have on your iPhone, but light. Like, whoa. Then on day two, there was the heavens and there was the sea. He separated, and bam, there we go. So then on day three, we had dry land. This stuff underneath you right now that your chairs are all rolling on, the dry land. And that is something, that's not it, that's carpet. But you know what I'm talking about, it's pretty awesome. Then on day four, the sun, the moon, and the stars. This amazed me, that sun wasn't created until day four, yet we had light at day one. Mind blown. We also, on day five, had water and winged animals. I think, what? Mine just, damn. Anyways, I just think that it is so awesome. And then of course on day 6, we had Adam and Eve and all the land animals. Now, if we go on, we hear about how they deceived God and we don't need to hear about that just yet. Later stories. And then on day 7, he rested. Now I think, wrong slide. So I just think that that is such an awesome story, and I would hate for anyone who is in prep or year 2 to have to miss out on awesome stories and stuff God's done. So I asked year 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds what they thought about God. I said, do you think the main reason why people don't want to be, I can spell Christian, as I said I usually can spell words, and the first slide, because it's boring. 42 of them said, yes, I reckon that's why people aren't Christian, is because it's pretty boring. The lifestyle's not the funnest. And then we had 29 of them say, no, there's other reasons why they might not want to be Christian. So just to summarise, I want to give children the chance to hear about the gospel. I also will be doing this on my Wednesdays for 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll be doing extra activities during their lunch times. I want children to understand and enjoy chapel, and I want to build relationships where they are comfortable with asking questions and talking about different things. Thank you. Oh, wait. I actually called. Thank you.
Good job, Jade.
Jade, can you tell me the acronym again? Religious education?
So it's keeping it real, so it's religious education, extensive interactive lessons.
Extensive. Okay. All right. Well, you're to be commended for your enthusiasm with your presentation and your obvious delight, I think, is what I saw in you for this project. So well done for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
If we are giving you some money, some DeLorean dollars today, how would you spend that?
So I have.
What are you thinking of?
Yeah, so as I said, that Fiona Cran, who's my mentor, has taught Ari. She's given me access to all of her resources, but I do want to have my own that I can give out to children, as well as just use again, because I also do teach Sunday school at the church over there, and I have for the last 2 years. So I've also got resources from them. There's a shirt as well that I would like to have that says "Keeping It Real" with Philippians 4 verse 13 on the back. So I want to be able to wear that when I'm doing those specific lessons and when I'm in their chapel on my Wednesdays. So that's where most of the money would be going. So I don't require a lot, but there is some that I would like to use towards my own resources, activities and everything like that. So that would be where it would be going.
I love your passion and what you want to do with this. I suppose, why year 2? Is there a need there? Did they not get that through the school way?
Because I didn't know we had a time limit for 5 minutes, so I did have a video on what kids actually thought about chapel, and the main concern was that it was boring and that it wasn't fun and that it was what? I don't even care. Yeah. And everything. And I wanted to restore that, and I wanted kids to actually enjoy chapel and to realise, whoa, this is some awesome stuff. And so the need that I wanted to find was that I think that being a Christian school is awesome and everything, but I noticed that with our RE, they get regular lessons and everything in public schools, yet we don't have that in Christian schools because we have the Christian teachers, the chapel lessons, and like, you know, you might do every now and again, but we don't actually have a specific time where we go, all right, now let's hear a Bible story, or let's hear something that needs to be discussed with kids your age. We never had that, and I know I never had that, and that's something that I would have loved. So growing up, I'm like, you know what, these kids need this. And even though they hear about it at chapel, that 40-minute lesson isn't there, like, that isn't going to give them enough knowledge. So I wanted kids that can't make it to Sunday school, kind of a thing, to actually experience Sunday school, like, in prep to year 2.
It's good to know that's a need. And also I think you did good research, the fact that you looked up some stuff on Google, see what other resources are there to make sure that there is a need and that you've got something to offer there. But you've done that, happy with that, I think it's good. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you did fantastic. You're obviously very engaging and you're charismatic and you presented very well. I'd challenge you to, how do you make this bigger than just you going out to grade yourself? How do you, if this is a need that you've discovered, how do you get it beyond just your own little world?
Yeah.
And so I'd challenge you to, you know, for the DeLorean project is for you to actually think, actually, I need more money to actually promote another 5 of me across the region, the area, Caboolture or whatever, Clown or whatever it might be. And that'd be my challenge to you, is because I think obviously it hinders on your passion and enthusiasm, which I think will go a long, long way. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that DeLorean people, what are we calling you guys? Facilitators, because they're not teachers, they're facilitators, have definitely brought up with me. So I'm looking into writing my own curriculum for Christian schools. It can also be used then, but like to make that kind of more noticeable, like, oh, maybe Christian schools also do need to be having specific time where they are hearing about that stuff. And I also, I had another point. Let me going.
I love the presentation and the energy, and I'd love you to be teaching my kids, doing that sort of thing with my kids. I don't think you quite hit the brief probably, in that it's what you love to do and it's something that you want to do in the classroom and do it. But what you just spoke about then and what you were bringing up before is exactly what I was going to raise, is that this is you as a person doing it with your passion in a schoolroom. I think the brief for the DeLorean project was more, how do you make that bigger? So how do you set up, like you said, a curriculum that schools can use, that churches can use, like some sort of kids program that would facilitate a lot more probably. You might have a module on every different 10 major Bible stories that kids under 6 need to know. So I think you need to do a lot more homework in terms of, okay, what's it going to cost me to put that package together? How am I going to fund that? Is the church going to pay for it? Are the schools going to pay for it if it's good enough? And that's that then becomes a really big project, not what you're talking about here as a small project. So
I did want to just start little and kind of build it up as I had that whole curriculum thing. Oh, and what I was going to say is I also am going to be blogging and writing different things about how the lesson went, what I'm going to improve on, for like public to see, like, oh, next time maybe I won't do this with such a big crowd or such a little crowd, you know what I mean? So so I am going to be also doing that, but I totally understand. My only issue was that it was just me, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to do exactly what I wanted to do, which was to be doing the physical stuff. But I've figured out that like we have the whole day and everything, so I'm going to be able to schedule different times to be doing, this is when I'm going to be reading up about the curriculum, and this is where I'm going to be seeing how advertisement's going to work, and writing the blog and everything like that. But I'm also going to have the afternoon, the lunchtime, the chapel time, and then the actual 15 to 20 minute presentations to the class.
But that's where you need to say, okay, I need to have either pay someone else to come along and help me write that curriculum, or accommodate some friends or something. So that should form part of your plan as to how you're going to do that. I would have liked to have seen a bit of a plan, even if it wasn't set in concrete, about how you wanted to make it larger than just yourself, because at the moment it was just a presentation about what you want to do, which is fantastic, but it's not really the brief that I think we probably should have addressed.
Jed, you're more passionate than the group of guys I saw beforehand.
Absolutely.
So don't worry about the size of the work that you have to do. They'll take you a long way. So.
And look for the resources that are already out there that are brilliant.
Yeah.
for these little kids of that age group. And having worked with a lot of little children for a long time in a previous life, resource-rich approaches are the key. So everything you can get that's hands-on and,
Yeah.
you know, so if I had money given to me for this, that's what I'd be spending.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of resources, a lot of curriculum ideas out there. You know, maybe look for that first and then add to it,
Yeah.
value add it with
Yeah.
your own ideas.
Yeah. So I wanted to, with the whole writing their own curriculum, have stuff that will work for not just like 2-year-olds and not just 12-year-olds. Something that goes, you know, oh, this will be able to. So you're able to click on different things, and it'll be like, oh, this will make you. This will work for prep to year 2. This will work from year 2 to year 4. This will work from year 4 to year 6.
That's what I wanted to see in the pamphlet.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Just one last comment.
$15